Diversity, equity, and inclusion, often referred to as DEI, are now at the very center of a national conversation that is shaping the future of our country. These three principles have become more than just buzzwords. They are driving forces behind policies, workplace cultures, and educational reforms across the United States. The debate around DEI is heated and complex, with passionate voices on all sides. From city halls to college campuses, people are raising questions about what fairness and opportunity should look like in modern America. At its heart, DEI aims to ensure that workplaces, schools, and public spaces are welcoming and accessible to everyone, regardless of their race, gender, religion, or background. The goal is to create environments where all individuals have a fair shot at success. But in 2023, the Supreme Court's decision to end race-based college admissions brought new urgency and scrutiny to DEI initiatives everywhere, sparking fresh debates about how best to achieve equality. Supporters argue that DEI helps correct long-standing inequalities, opens doors for underrepresented groups, and ultimately builds stronger, more innovative organizations and communities. Critics, however, worry that some DEI policies may unintentionally create new forms of unfairness by favoring certain groups over others, raising concerns about merit and equal treatment. In response, lawmakers are holding hearings and investigations to examine the real impact of DEI on American society, education, and the workplace. The national debate is passionate and sometimes deeply personal, reflecting the country's ongoing struggle with questions of fairness, opportunity, and justice for all. Ultimately, this conversation is about more than policies. It's about how we define equality and what kind of future we want to build together as a nation. On July 23, 2025, the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on the Constitution convened a pivotal hearing on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, drawing national attention to Capitol Hill. The hearing was seen as a critical moment in the ongoing debate over the role of DEI initiatives in American institutions, with many anticipating heated exchanges and high stakes. Led by Chairman Senator Eric Schmitt, the panel brought together lawmakers with sharply contrasting views. Some senators were strong supporters of DEI, arguing it is essential for fairness and progress, while others were vocal critics, questioning its effectiveness and impact on merit-based systems. The atmosphere inside the hearing room was tense and electric. Senators from both parties pressed witnesses with tough, pointed questions, seeking to uncover the real-world effects, both positive and negative, of these controversial policies. The stakes felt high, as the outcome could influence future legislation. Senator Hirono, a staunch advocate for DEI, engaged in a heated clash with a witness who opposed such programs. Their exchange highlighted not only the deep legal and philosophical divides, but also the personal convictions driving both sides of the debate. Throughout the hearing, the polarized nature of the debate was on full display. Each side presented passionate, sometimes emotional arguments, underscoring just how contentious and complex the issue of DEI has become in the national conversation. As the session progressed, attention gradually shifted away from the witnesses and toward the senators themselves. Their reactions, questions, and interjections revealed the depth of their own beliefs and the political stakes involved. A brief but pointed exchange between Senators Schmitt and Hirono captured the intensity of the moment, setting the stage for a more personal and direct confrontation that would define the rest of the hearing. Senator Hirono turned the debate personal, suggesting that criticism of DEI often casts suspicion on the qualifications of minorities. She addressed Senator Schmitt directly, asking if he distrusted her because of her background. Her words reframed the debate, emphasizing the human cost of anti-DEI rhetoric. Hirono argued that doubting DEI programs can feel like doubting the people they support. She called for broader acceptance and trust, urging her colleagues to consider the real-world impact of their positions. For Hirono, the heart of the debate is whether Americans can trust each other to be judged on merit, not appearance. Senator Schmitt quickly rejected any suggestion of personal bias, insisting his opposition to DEI is about policy, not prejudice. He argued that DEI programs risk replacing old unfairness with new, by prioritizing group identity over individual merit. Schmitt and other critics advocate for intellectual diversity. valuing a range of ideas rather than focusing on demographics. They warn that demographic targets can lead to quotas and undermine fairness. For critics, the goal is a colorblind system where everyone is judged solely on skills and character. Schmidt's stance opposing DEI doesn't mean distrusting minorities. It's about a different vision of fairness. The Hirono-Schmidt exchange is just one example of a much larger, ongoing national struggle over the role of diversity, equity, and inclusion, often called DEI, in shaping America's future. This debate is not limited to Congress. It echoes in schools, workplaces, and communities across the country, touching nearly every aspect of American life. The Supreme Court's recent ruling against affirmative action has only intensified the conversation, fueling new legal and political challenges to DEI initiatives in both public and private sectors. As a result, organizations are re-examining their policies, and the ripple effects are being felt far beyond the courtroom. Supporters of DEI argue that these efforts are essential to overcoming deeply rooted systemic barriers that have historically excluded certain groups. They believe that by promoting diversity and inclusion, society can create real opportunities for everyone, regardless of background or identity. Critics, however, worry that DEI programs may unintentionally divide people by focusing too much on differences, rather than what unites us. They argue that such initiatives can sometimes foster resentment or a sense of unfairness, especially if they are seen as prioritizing group identity over individual merit. At the heart of the debate lies a fundamental question: should society strive to be colorblind, treating everyone the same regardless of background? Or should we actively address historical inequities to ensure a more level playing field for all? The recent Capitol Hill hearing highlights just how personal and passionate this debate has become, with lawmakers and citizens alike expressing strong, often emotional opinions on both sides. Finding common ground will not be easy, but it starts with listening to each other's experiences and engaging in respectful, open-minded dialogue about what fairness and opportunity should look like in America. Ultimately, the outcome of this debate over DEI will help determine how America defines justice, fairness, and opportunity for generations to come.